Ever since I was younger, I was into video games.
Somebody like the Fuse so I can bring bad news to all these crews who can't NBA jam with the shoe.
Hey everybody, welcome back to a quick beer review. Going up to Sacramento. Actually, I think Rockland is where Moksa is at. We are going to crack open and drink Light the Beam. This beer comes courtesy of my man Jared. Appreciate you, brother. Or as we say, light the motherfucking beam. Light the Beam is a per the label hazy double IPA, clocking in at 8.2% alcohol by volume. Moksa is, I think it's Rockland, almost positive. I'm almost positive it's Rockland. Does it say on here? Moksa Brewing Company. Yeah, Rockland. It's so hard to read the print on this label. So our beloved Sacramento Kings are in the playoffs for the first time in 16 years. And Light the Beam comes from when the Kings win games at the Golden One Center. There is a big beam on the top of the building, and when they win, they light the beam, and there's a big orange beam that goes in, or orange purple beam that goes into the sky. So they lit it 48 times this year. Kings are legit. They're back. It's crazy. I moved to Sacramento in 1991 and lived there until I graduated high school in 1999. And back then, well, mid to late 90s, Kings were, I mean, they were unreal. Those teams with Jason Williams and Weber, Blotty, Peja, Bobby Jackson, like those Kings teams were fun. It was crazy. So I've spent a lot of time at the old Arco Arena, went to basketball games growing up, went to concerts, went to WCW house shows, I think we saw a Monday Night Raw there, Jared, I think. I'm asking you like you can answer. Almost positive. So a lot of good memories. And the Kings have been absolutely horrible for the last 15 years, and they're back. So he sent this. It was canned on March 8th. Today it says playoffs, here we come. March 8th, today is April 14th. So just over a month in the can, which is fine because it's hazy. Is there any other information on here? 8.2%. Hazy double IPA, Citra Nelson, and Galaxy. So Kings have kind of a tough task. First round, they're playing the Warriors. I'm drinking this on Friday night. The game is tomorrow night. Game 1 is tomorrow night. I mean, the Warriors are the defending champions. Not the same team as last year, but it's not going to be easy. I will say the Warriors were absolutely horrific on the road this year. I think they were 10-31 on the road. So I'm expecting the Kings to win the first 2 games, at least at the Golden One Center. I've been to one game at the Golden One Center with Jared a couple Thanksgivings ago. It was a blast. It's a cool arena. So this beer, it's like that kind of bright orangey color, pineapple juice looking, finger of fluffy bright white head. I will say going into this, we are using our Moksa glassware because you guys know it's proper AF. That's the old Kings logo right there. Shoot, I forgot what I was just saying. Oh, I will say, I have never in my life had a IPA, hazy or not, that I loved from Moksa. I just don't know what it is about their beers, their hazy beers, their hoppy beers in general. I have never been a fan of Moksa's hoppy beers. They make amazing stouts. I don't know what's going to happen now with Derek being gone, but it's weird because I look at Untappd check-ins and people seem to deride them that are in Rockland, like they're big Moksa fans, and I just don't get what they're tasting because I've never had a beer from them that's like, wow, this is delicious. They've always just been meh to bad. There's been issues with off flavors and all that good stuff. So I'm just gonna say this is a rad can with a cool label and a fun theme, but I have very low expectations for this beer. Just saying. Let's see what it smells like. It's got the pumpkin guts thing. Why do they all have that? Almost every Moksa hazy beer I've had smells like when you go to carve a pumpkin on Halloween and you open it up and you smell pumpkin, it smells like that. I cannot get past it. I don't know why it does it. If anyone brews beer, what's the science behind that? Why does it smell like that? Fuck. It's got a little bit of citrusy thing. It doesn't smell super yeasty, which is awesome, but it's got the pumpkin guts thing. I knew this beer was gonna suck. Gosh darn it. I mean, that's literally all I smelled. It's a little pithy too, but once you smell pumpkin guts in a beer, you cannot unsmell it and you can't smell anything else. Let's go and taste it. Cheers. Thanks, Jared. You SOB. So it's there, but it's not as bad as I thought it was going to be. It's not horrible. It's not great though. There is a really earthy aspect of this beer. It almost tastes like if you've ever like bought produce at a store that's like organic, that's not washed and there's dirt on it, and you like smell like that dirt when you're either washing it or, you know, when you grab it at the store. You smell things and it just goes into your sinuses. Like you can taste things when you smell it. Like that's kind of, it's got that super earthy, dirty thing. There's a nice amount of like, there's a vinous, like green tomato vine thing. And it's got a cool amount of citrus to it, but that like pumpkin thing is there. And I hate that. I'm telling you, almost every single hazy beer I've had from Moksa has that. It smells way more pumpkin forward than it tastes, thankfully, but I can't get past it. It's an issue, and I don't know, like, it's weird, dude. Like, nobody on Untappd ever talks about it. I don't know if they're not, like, realizing what they're smelling, but I've talked to people who brew beers, and they say the same thing. It's pumpkin. And I don't know why how come nobody else smells and tastes that? Like, what is happening? Is it just, like, a select few of us, kind of like cilantro tastes like soap to some people? Is there something in what hops are they using? Citra and Nelson and Galaxy, right? Citra, Nelson, Galaxy. I will say that like the earthy, funky, vinous thing is definitely Nelson forward, but it's just one of those things, man. Like I was so afraid of this happening, and it's doing it. So, thankfully, it tastes better than it smells. But there's something about Moksa. I don't know what it is. So. They need to figure it out. Like I don't spend money on their beer, thankfully. Like anytime I've had Moksa beer, I'm either at Jared's house drinking stouts with him, or he has bought hoppy beers, and so I like drink them with him. But it's weird. They're so consistent with it. I mean, if they could be consistently great with that, it would be amazing. But I don't know what it is. Whatever. So we're not going to worry about it. We're going to hope that the Kings can somehow pull this series out. They're the 3 seed playing the 6 seed. They're the favorites. I'm hoping they win. I told Jared and my buddy Kingsley, like, this whole season is just like, they've played so far above expectation. Let's just enjoy the playoffs and see what happens. If they can win a series, it'll be awesome. I'll be much less disappointed than they will. They've definitely followed the Kings. After I moved, away from Sacramento and moved to Southern California, like I don't watch the Kings unless you pay for the NBA package. So they've have stayed up in Northern California this whole time and followed them, and they're much more into the Kings these days than I am. But they'll be a lot more disappointed if they lose. But I just think it's rad for the city of Sacramento, for the fans. Like the Kings they're back. Like they have a good coach, a good GM. They're starting a roster build. Like it's going to be cool. So that's Light the Beam from Moksa. Sorry for making a long review talking about negative stuff about their hoppy beers, but there's got to be somebody who watches this that goes, yeah, dude, I taste that, and I've noticed it in every single one of them, just like you have. There's got to be somebody, and if you do, you're my bro for life. So that is it. I am out of here. You guys enjoy the NBA playoffs. Who are you rooting for? Go KANGZ. Cheers.
Thank you for coming behind the bar, in the arcade, all that shit.
Ever since I was younger, I was into video games.
Somebody like the Fuse so I can bring bad news to all these